So this is a pretty obscure little core. I'm here to tell you what the core does, so that if you need any help and it's appropriate, we can provide it for you. The core's aims, I mean, there's three big aims. One is to serve, one is to teach, and if we serve and teach, hopefully out of the way, we innovate as well, because very often interesting research problems emerge when we collaborate with HIV researchers. So the core actually covers three topics: biostats, bioinformatics, and computational biology. The differences, biostatisticians basically are experts in uncertainty. So whenever you get a result, we want to understand how uncertain it is, and how can we find methods to reduce that uncertainty in the first place. Bioinformatics, people are specialists in maths. If you have big messy data, that makes bioinformaticians happy. And again, the question is, how do we reduce the mess in the first place? How do we design a pipeline for analysis of data so that the mess doesn't creep in the first place and we can get more robust results? And computational biologists essentially are interested in the question of vagueness or ambiguity. Very often you have some mechanism in mind for how something happens, but it's a verbal story and it's drawn through pictures, as biologists typically do. What computational biologists do is they convert it to a mathematical model, put it in a computer, and see if the model behaves as you expect it to, because it's very easy to trick yourself by telling stories. Teaching is a newer thing for us, and that we're getting into more and more. So we offer talks on review basic statistics, or more specialized topics. And we're also getting into trying to train CFAR researchers in general more programming skills, either R and bioconductor for more statistical operations, or Python for more bioinformatics and scientific computing. So these are the people in the core. There's me, and I'm interested generally in systems biology, machine learning, with a side interest of automated flow cytometry analysis that's taking up more and more of my time. Greg Samsa is a general biostatistician. He's also very interested in statistical education, and he's the director of our graduate studies in the department. Shine Chung is an expert in pharmaceutical statistics and clinical trialist, and he also consults with FDA on this new thing called adaptive design, which helps you design clinical trials that either end faster than traditional trials or require smaller sample sizes. Koros Alza is actually the director of the statistics core for the Cancer Institute, but he's an affiliate member of CFAR in the sense that when the cancer people have immunology questions, I help him, and when we have cancer and genomics questions, he'll help me. We have staff. We also have staff. So we have two staff statisticians, Darcy Kwon and Shi Ting, who are both Ph.D. level statisticians, who will help out in general statistics. And Scott White is a scientific programmer and web developer who helps us with some things. And then on top of that, because we're all in the biostats and bioinformatics department, it's a huge department with over 50 faculty. So we have access to experts in quite a large variety of disciplines. And if none of us really can meet your needs, we can usually be a matchmaker and point you to the right person for collaboration. The department also has a graduate program in biostatistics, and that's really very helpful because it means we have a source of cheap labor that comes with supervising faculty. So we are always on the lookout for good master's level projects or internships for these students, and if you have anything in mind of that sort, it's a very cheap way to get lots of statistical work done. So now I'll just go into the classes of things that we can offer the CFAR community. The most common thing we do is probably consultation, and in particular statistical consultation. So if you're a new investigator and you have a poster or a paper or a grant proposal, maybe a CFAR Small Development Award, you can come to us anytime. We will be happy to look through your statistical design and your analysis plan and tell if it makes sense or not. All right. So the typical questions for consultation are: what sample size should I use? What sort of test is most appropriate for my data set? And do I need to correct for multiple comparisons if you're doing a biomarker study, for example? We also collaborate on bigger projects where we get in from the beginning, which is what we like to do, and help you design a statistical analysis plan in the first place. All right, which is much preferable to you doing the plan, and at the end of us dumping us with 4 terabytes of data, asking us to analyze it. We are much more likely to be committed if we come in at the beginning. So if there are obviously clinical trialists who are interested in randomized trials, we can people who help you with design of observational studies, biomarker discovery, or high throughput drug screening. And the most common application is a collaboration, develop a plan for a grant or a contract proposal. We do a lot of modeling and data analysis. So this ranges from exploratory data analysis. If you just want to, you have so much data, you're not much sure where to start, we can start poking at it, doing exploration and doing visualization so that it's a hypothesis generating activity. More commonly, it's models are built in order to do specific hypothesis testing. Again, in randomized studies, which may be experimental or clinical trial or observational study. We do we help out, we do a lot of data analysis for discovery science. If you're trying to find immune correlates of vaccine efficacy, for example, that's something that we like to do. And finally, this is a personal interest. I'm interested in dynamical models and systems biology. So far, we haven't had very much collaboration with CFAR on this, but if any of you have problems that involve building mathematical or computer simulations, I'd love to talk to you. There's a little bit of web development done by Scott. I mean, Scott's really an expert, but he doesn't have very much effort, so we don't try to make him too busy. But this is something that I imagine, for example, if the immunology core wants to offer their own workshops and so on, we'll be happy to help you develop websites. We did that for the CFAR Flow workshop, and we've also built up an automated flow data repository that does annotation and validation and automated analysis for the EchoPole project. We build custom software from ranging from databases to automated analysis of flow cytometry data, which is mainly done by Scott and myself. And this is the teaching part. We've so far run 2 sets of workshops. Last year we ran a workshop on the computational language Python in the context of bioinformatics and basic computing. And this year we ran 2-hour workshops to introduce you to the R statistical programming language. Because this is new for us, these workshops may have been over your head a little bit, but we plan to do this more in the future, and as we iterate, I'm sure the workshops will become better and more appropriate for your level. So the trouble with the previous workshops is that we're used to teaching graduate students in statistics and computer science, and it's a bit hard for us to adjust to teaching immunologists and clinical researchers. So the cost is, how much will all of this cost you? The good news is that if you're a new investigator, generally there's no charge whatsoever, because CFAR provides funding for some level of effort from all of us, and this effort that's provided goes towards new investigators preferentially. All right, so for consultation or for help with experimental design, for some data analysis, generally there's no charge. If your data analysis is massive, the cheapest way to do it, like I said, is to work with a biostats master student under faculty supervision. For established investigators, we don't have a chargeback system, so we typically work on a collaborative system. You write us in some % effort into your grant proposal, and then we'll work with you from then on. Workshops and tutorials, there's no charge, or we might ask you to buy coffee and buns for us. So in summary, we may be able to help if you like a review of the statistics for a poster, paper, or proposal. You have an experiment that would be interesting for a master's project in biostats, so this is win-win. You get cheap analysis, and our student gets some experience analyzing data. And it's not just a student, because the student will always come with a faculty supervision, so you can quite sure that the analysis will be okay. If you have data that needs computational biology, bioinformatics, or biostats analysis, talk to me. You like to collaborate on custom software for data analysis. So far to date, we've mainly done that for the Flow core, although we've done some other small projects as well. If you're interested in a particular statistics, bioinformatics, or programming training workshop, also get in touch with me. If you're interested in, for example, use of bioconductor for microarray analysis, come talk to me, and then we can develop such a workshop that will suit your needs, all right? Especially if you're in charge of a big group or a big lab, and you want a sort of custom tutorial that's specific for the analysis in your lab, then we can help you work it out. So you can either contact me by getting the email off the CFAR website, or just grab me after this talk. And in the future, Darongse Kwon, Darcy will actually be our point person, so it'll all be on the Duke website. We try our best to give you an initial email response within 24 hours and to schedule consultation within a week. So, yeah, that's it. So,